Architecture engineering students. This is Mr. Green. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be at school today, but I do want to introduce the Air Rocket project the best that I can, and you guys can get started with it. So essentially what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to run through a introduction of the design process, starting from the beginning, where we identify the problem, all the way to the end when we reevaluate our solution. And you are going to actually make a little rocket out of paper and tape, and you're going to see if your design can launch over 50 feet and if it can continue to be straight as it launches. We're not going to launch it outside, we're going to launch it actually down the hallway. So it's going to kind of be like we're firing a bullet a little bit. So I'm going to run through the rubric here, and then I'm going to explain what you need to do today. So the purpose is you're going to develop an air rocket. You're going to use a little bit of cardstock, which is like thicker paper, and you're going to see if you can launch the farthest and straightest distance from a pneumatic firing device. We have two of these firing devices. We're just going to use one for our class. Each student, you're going to research different rocket designs. You're going to brainstorm your own. You're going to model your rocket in Autodesk Inventor. And then you're going to finally just construct the actual rocket and then test it. So here's some of your constraints, ladies and gentlemen. Your rocket must have at least 5 parts to it. So it's going to be, you're going to look at the cone, the body, and the fins. The fins are what make up the remaining parts. So your cone is going to be made out of one note card. It's going to extend outside of your body. The body of the cone must be at least 4 inches long with a diameter of exactly 0.845 inches. Now, that's more for Inventor. How we actually make that diameter 0.845 inches is when we build it, I have some PVC pipe set up to be that diameter, so it's very easy. And then you're going to make some fins on your rocket. So a minimum of 3, maximum of 6. You're going to have a fin. You're going to have pretty much a note card for each fin, and the fins will extend outside the body. And you may use multiple fin types in one design. So the construction of it is all parts must be attached with approved blue painter's tape. No other materials may be used that are not provided by the teacher, and all parts must be created and constructed in class. So I want to just kind of give you an example of it. I don't know how well it's going to work, but here's the exact, we'll just run through this video. Here's the guy with his rocket. Again, this is the device that we use. This is the exact device that we have. And essentially, you just pump it up. It uses a sprinkler valve. I have it set up to a battery just like he does. When you click it, it launches it. So it's pretty simple. Like I said, we're not going to be launching ours up. We're going to be launching ours actually laterally in the hallway. Okay. So, what is required of you guys? For right now, ladies and gentlemen, just kind of ignore the dates. The dates aren't correct because we have them up on Canvas. I'm going to give you a updated rubric when I get back. But the first thing you're going to do, and what I'm expecting you to do today, is to identify the problem and the constraints. Essentially, what do you have to do and what do you have to work within, which is all up here. Your goal is to pretty much take all this, the purpose, the constraints, and summarize this and type it in 5 to 7 sentences in a document. Okay, so here's where you get that document. If you go to Canvas, and under today's date, 11/20, this might get shifted around. If that's the case, just look for this. Air Rocket, identify the problem constraints. Click on it, click on the blue link, and then in this blue link it says describe in 5 to 7 sentences the purpose of the project and the goal you are tasked with. The rubric is down here at the bottom, and the document you can use to do this is right here. So this is the identify the problem document. So I'm going to click on this. It's going to download. I would highly suggest taking this and saving it to your A&E folder. So I can put this in my A&E folder, which is located, that should be located on Google Drive. After it's done downloading, open it up, and this might come up. This is fine. Just go ahead and enable editing so you can actually type in it. So it's a pretty simple document, not very long, and says the Air Rocket Design Project. Your name goes here. So like I said, you guys are just going to go ahead and type in your name. Today's date is 11/20/2015. And then you have the purpose and criteria and constraints. So essentially, I want you to re-explain to me. Don't just copy and paste here. I want you to explain to me when looking at the rubric here, what is the purpose of the project, okay? In your own words, what is the purpose of this project? Why are you doing this project? It's not just to build a rocket and shoot it off. You know, what are you going to learn from it? What do you think are going to be some of your problems, some of your things you're going to come up against? So elaborate a little bit more on what I talked about, and then type in your criteria and constraints here. So remember, take a look at the rocket project. Here are your criteria or your constraints. Make sure you talk about what you need to do, what size, what parts that you're using. Pretty much take this, turn this into a few sentences. That's going to go into this document. After you have completed this document, make sure you save it to Google Drive, and then under today's date, this assignment right here where you got the document, where it says published and edit for me, remember it'll say submit assignment. Go ahead and click on that and upload this assignment. So this is what I'm expecting today, or what is due today. If we look at the calendar about what's coming up next week during the week of Thanksgiving, you can see here on Monday that your research is due. So here is the option I'm giving you, ladies and gentlemen. This is your first priority. Work on the air rocket, identify the problem constraints. After this, you have one or two options. You may continue if you need to, work on 3-3 if you have to finish this up, put it in your document, turn it in. And then research is going to be homework for you. For those people that have turned in 3-3, they are complete with it, you can start to work on research right away. So if we click the Air Rocket Research, it says research at least 2 different fin designs, the purpose behind them, place a picture and a 3-sentence minimum description of each one on separate slides. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys that document right now. So just like the identify the problem document, there's going to be a document for this one as well. And this one is going to be research. There we go. I'll go ahead and save this. So again, ladies and gentlemen, here's the document I want you to use for research. So generate concepts research. If I click on this and I download this document, open it up, and this one is fairly similar. If it'll actually let me open it up here. There we go. Enable editing. And same thing. Put in your name, your date. It's called Generate Concepts, and it's the research part. And I have places for you to place things. So for example, when you research one fin design, you're just going to go up. You're going to look at different types of fins that you might find on rockets. You're going to copy and paste the link of where you found it here. You're going to take a picture of that fin. Again, you can do that by using the snipping tool, remember. So whatever website you're on, you can just grab the snipping tool. You can copy and paste it in here. And then I want you to give me a 3-sentence description of the fin. If you find a fin design, ladies and gentlemen, and you can't find any documentation on it or any kind of reasoning of why it's shaped that way, then you can't really use it because you don't know why that fin is that shape. So you want to find fin designs here or fin shapes that give you a description of why it is shaped that way and why they consider that a better fin. So again, you just type in a 3-sentence minimum for each one, why or what that description of fin is. Why is it shaped that way? You know, for example, in that video, he had some pretty specific shaped fins. And if we were to ask him, you know, why we did this, he should have an answer of why, you know, explaining that it might help it fly straighter. The shape is like this to help, you know, reduce wind shear, something of that nature. So again, make sure you have a 3-sentence minimum description of the fin. And again, I'm looking at 2 different fin designs, ladies and gentlemen. So this is due when you guys come back on Monday. It's due at the end of the period on Monday. I can promise you right now, you're probably not going to have enough time to find both fin designs and why. It's actually a pretty difficult task to search the internet for fin designs and figure out why they're shaped that way. So again, you might want to use, you know, maybe an hour on the weekend to get yourself ahead, find some fins. You can place them in the document. Again, you can save it to your Google Drive. And then when you come back in Monday, then you can submit that for me and I can grade it. On Monday when I return, I'll just, you know, check in where we are. I will also talk a little bit about brainstorming as well. So again, to recap, today, you're working on the air rocket, identify the problem constraints. When you guys walked in to class, hopefully you've picked up this document, the Air Rocket Project. If you haven't, there are printed up copies towards the front of the room somewhere. Make sure you grab one. Work on the identify the problem. When you're done with that, you can work on or finish the demo and activities for 3 or Unit 3. If you're done with that, or when you get done with that, you need to start working on research. I'll return on Monday, and I'll check off and see where we are. Thank you. Remember this, you know, some of you have gotten behind. This is a semester course. You have to stay on time, and you have to get things in on time for the Rocket Project, because we cannot extend, I can't extend the semester. The school can't. So for those people that tend to get behind, you might have to really utilize Open Labs in the last few weeks to make sure you don't fall behind on this. All right, thank you guys, and have a good day.